Hey everybody, it's Mr. Mock, and we are on Module 2 for our distance learning experience. Just as a reminder, these notes, you can just follow along and take in your own notebook, on your own paper at home, or if you prefer, these notes are available in Google Classroom for you to click on and read with while I'm going through. Or you can, if you have the resources to do so, print it out and have it in front of you while I go over them. However it works, it's nice to have. And you'll notice that I've already kind of written everything in. It's because this is take number 2. Computer froze as I was trying to save the last video. Oh, heartbreak. Okay, here we go. We're going to speed right through these, but not really, because I want to make sure you guys got it. So we are reviewing slope-intercept form today. If you recall, and I'm just going to make sure this is just ingrained in your head, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. This is the form. This is a line. The equation of a line is this, where m is a number. That means the slope or the rate, okay? So when you have a slope or you have a rate and you're trying to write an equation, it's always going to be m. M is the slope or the rate. B is also representative of a number. You should typically have this number if you're graphing or in a word problem. You get this number. It's always the initial value or the y-intercept, which is the same thing. The initial value and the y-intercept, same. Okay? I shouldn't say or, maybe I should put AKA y-intercept. Slope, AKA rate, you know. So m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Now, we're going to do some examples. And it all goes back to this y equals mx plus b. That's what the focus is for our lesson right now and all the work we're doing this week. So examples, for the first 3, we're simply saying, what is the slope and y-intercept for each of the problems, okay? So for number 1, the equation is y equals 2x. Well, there's no plus b, right? So if there's no plus b, maybe it's just plus nothing. Is there a number that means nothing? Well, yeah, 0. 0 means nothing, right? So for me, though, I like to start with slope. Slope in this particular situation is always the number in front of the x. See, m is the slope. It's in front of the x. So the number in front of the x is 2. So 2 is the slope. We can also write it, because slope we typically like to have a numerator and a denominator, a top number and a bottom number. So we can write this as 2 over 1, right? 2 over 1 is the same as 2. Then the y-intercept, because there's nothing written here, we can say it's kind of goes through the origin, or aka 0, 0. When x is 0, y is 0, the y-intercept is 0. And in Khan Academy, that first assignment that you're doing, they want you to write the y-intercept as a coordinate, okay? So in this case, you're going to follow this. It's going to be a 0, 0 for the first one. For the second one, okay, again, slope is always, every single time, just get it in the noggin there, slope is always the number in front of the x. What's the number in front of the x? 1/3. Your slope is 1/3. Done. Easy peasy. So then what's your y-intercept? Y-intercept is always whatever's over here attached to it. Over here is nothing, so it's 0. The y-intercept here is -2. So as a coordinate, y-intercept is -2, you'd write it as 0, -2. Which takes us to the third example. Again, when we're talking about slope, it's always the number in front of the x. Boom, -7. Or, because we like slope to be like in a fraction form, -7 over 1. And I'll talk about some negative slope down here on some of these guys and how we do those in a minute. And then the y-intercept is just the number at the back. That's the 8, or the number without the x is the 8. When we write that y-intercept, it would be 0 when x is 0, y is 8. Okay, now, the next part of your Khan Academy work is to graph equations, okay? So again, graphing them, we want to think about y equals mx plus b, and you start with the y-intercept. So the first one we're going to graph is y equals 5x minus 2. Start with the y-intercept. I need a starting point, right? So my y-intercept right here is -2. Because that's not see, this is the number in front of the x. That's not the y-intercept. Y-intercept's always here without the x, -2. And then I would write that as when x is 0, y is -2. So I come over to my graph, okay? Here's the origin. When x is 0, y is -2, and I put a point right there. Boom. Okay? Now, do the slope. Do the slope. So it's an action. Do the slope from the y-intercept, right? And the slope, that's the number in front of the x. That's 5, or 5/1, which means I'm going to go up 5 and over 1. So from here, I go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 5. See, I wrote it in green there. Up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 1. Boom. And then I could do it again. Up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 1. Boom. And I can see that just makes this beautiful line. And I use a straight edge because that's just how I do. So you go up 5 over 1, up 5 over 1, and you start. Remember, start at the y-intercept. -2. Up 5 over 1, up 5 over 1. Draw your line. Done. And then you move on to the second example. So second example, again, always start with the y-intercept. Y-intercept here is +4, which means it's at 0, 4. So, okay, 0, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, you make your point. Then, from there, remember, do the slope. It's an action. The slope is telling you it's doing something. It's a rate. It's a movement. Okay? So the slope here is at -2 over 3. Okay? So slope is -2. So I'm going to put the negative on the 2. It can't go on both. You can't do -2 and a -3. No, 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 no. The negative, you have to choose. You can either go on the 2 or the 3. I put it up on the 2. Right? So -2 means I go down. Right? When you think about negative in mathematics, it's going down. It's taking away. When you go positive and you're thinking left to right, positive is to the right, negative is to the left. Okay? So I'm going to go down to -2, boom, and then right 3, and then I could do it again, down 2, 1, 2, right 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, Mr. Mock, what if we put the negative on the 3? Could we go up 2, right? What if I put the negative down? What if I did 2 and then -3? So what if the 2 was up and then left? Does that work still, right? Let's see, okay? Ooh, let's get the green, right? So what if I went up 2? Could I go over 3? Oh my goodness, look at that. It's still on the line, which is pretty cool. That's why I say you can choose. You could put the negative with the 2 or the 3. You could put the negative with the 2 or the 3. You still get it. You could do up 2 and left 3, which is pretty sweet. Where am I at? 8 minutes. I think I'm going a little bit quicker on this video, but it's already, because it's all written out. If you want to, I've got 2 more examples. 2 more examples. If you want to take a pause, take a breath, do that now. Hit pause, pause, take a breath. Okay. And welcome back. Thank you. We're going to go on and do the last 2 examples. The last 2 examples, a little bit heavier. On this one, you wanted to write the equation from the graph. So in the first video, it was just the graph. It was just the red coordinate plane here with the blue line. And then we wrote, and then the green was my handwriting during the video. So I'm just going to talk through what I did here, okay? When you're writing an equation from a line, again, surprisingly, I don't know if you've heard me say this, y equals mx plus b. Have I mentioned y equals mx? How about try y equals mx plus b is where we start for all of this stuff. Whenever you see a line, when you see a line in your head, I want you to be just thinking Mr. Mock's voice, y equals mx plus b. So, oh, that's a line, y equals mx plus b. Hey, there's another line, y equals mx plus b. Okay? So now, once again, start with the y-intercept. Because all you're doing is saying, here's the y-axis, the line crosses here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means the b is 4. So that's done. This number is 4. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. All you have to do is go, where did it cross the line? Boom, 4, done. Now the slope, okay? And I gave you these points, and all you have to do is make your slope triangle, right? I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, down 3, right 2, or up 3, left 2 to get back to the line, right? So remember, the vertical goes up top, 3 up, 2, and that's left, right? Up, left, or you could have done it 3 down, make it a -3, and 2 over, but after that you just plug it in. The slope is just what is always just the number in front of the x. The y-intercept is always just the b. Done. And now you've written your equation. This is it. This is what your goal was. This is the equation. Done. Smiley face. Okay? Next, at 11 minutes, this question is more like, is supposed to help you with the challenge problem. Now remember, the challenge problem is exactly that. It's just supposed to be a challenge. The first 6 examples are supposed to help you with the Khan Academy work. That stuff I'm hoping that you can do and do it well. That's the stuff that I really absolutely need you to know. Now, the challenge problem is just, that's an application. That's a little bit more. That's exactly what it is, a challenge. I just want you to try it. Use the skills that I'm giving you in this example to help you attempt it, okay? So I'm at 11 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm going to try to wrap this up quick. So, Sam is knitting scarves. Nice job, Sam. They are selling the scarves for $17 in order to save up money to purchase a computer. There is a U there. They already have $85 saved. Write an equation to show total money saved, that's your Y, as it relates to scarves sold. Okay? Sam is knitting scarves, selling the scarves for $17. They already have 85. So 17, 85, those are 2 numbers. Now, I want you to write an equation in y equals mx plus b form, and I've only given you 2 numbers. So we already kind of know what's going on here. Y is total money. X is scarves sold. So right now, the questions you're asking yourself are, hey, what's the rate? What's the slope? And then, what is Sam starting with? What's the B? And another way to look at what Sam's starting with is, at 0 scarves sold, how much money? Right? So when you're looking at this, you have all the information. It's just a matter of going, breathe. Okay, y equals mx plus b. All I need an m and a b. And m is my rate. Is there anything here that's a rate? Yeah. $17 per 1 scarf. Boom. That's the rate. 5 scarves, 5 times 17. What do I already have? What does Sam already have? They already have $85. That's your initial value. And that's how you would write an equation based on the words there. From that point, you know the y-intercept. You can graph it. 85, boom. And then you use the slope. Up 17 over 1, up 17 over 1. And then you can graph that and you're set. You've got your line. Guys, those are your notes. As you have questions, you can either email me or head over to Flipgrid. Ask me questions there. I'll answer them as fast as I possibly can. Miss you guys tons. I really hope this helps. Send me questions as you have them. If you even need just reassurance that you're doing it right, send me your work and I'll give you a thumbs up or I'll give you some help, okay? I hope you're all doing well, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.